Now, how to delegate task ownership to change the world is the question of the day. Welcome to the news. That question will be answered at the end of the podcast, so please try to stick around today. Yeah, welcome to the news. So what we're trying to get out a little bit to be able to try to conceptualize to begin with is how to be able to delegate task ownership, to be able to try to develop a process, to be able to help people to better define themselves as human beings, as what they're capable of, as how they can optimize their performance in this world known as life. It is something innate for all people to want to be able to help other people. So, in essence, what we're trying to get at is how to be able to define what it is possible to do and how to optimize human energy, in essence, to be able to align with task management and task ownership, to be able to delegate task ownership. So, there's a commercial that corresponds typically to Monday.com. Monday.com is a commercial that's on YouTube very often, and it corresponds to something that's a CRM, which is a customer retention management system, for example. And so in essence, corresponding to typically what a business tends to come down to ultimately, if you are the sole proprietor, if a sole owner of a business, of any given business, if you're just starting out doing any given thing, so to speak, you end up being every single person on every single name, for every single task, for every single list, for every single item, for every single thing that needs to be done in that given business, in that given process, so to speak, despite what it is typically to begin with, just to be able to try to develop a circuitry process, a circuit, to be able to circuit the circuit and make a loop so that the loop is connected and connectified to be able to develop your ability to be able to earn money and earn a process, so that every single time a process is able to be repeated, so that every time a customer is able to be fulfilled and the fulfillment is able to be serviced, and this service is able to develop a process and a system and a consistent outcome and an experience for that given customer, and that customer service is known as customer service. Yeah, so to be able to develop repeatable experiences for people, ultimately systems are necessary to be put into place to develop an optimized, optimal, continuous growth, conceivable, conceptualizable experience for a business to be able to scale up in size, to be able to go past the size that it originally starts at, to be able to scale into a growth foundational process that has the ability to grow, to be able to begin with, so that in essence it's not restricted by growth based on the number of hours that are in the day for a given person that's trying to run that given business, for example. So beyond that, it's relevant to be able to try to implement systems, and system and task ownership is the way to be able to delegate how to get to have people help you to scale to the world. In essence, to be able to scale to the world, in essence, you've got to get your electricity like a circuit, like a circuitry, to be able to expand ultimately in a fashion that can reach the whole entire world. And in essence, task ownership is something that can correspond and correlate to the ethereal. In essence, it's an ethereal game because in essence, you're trying to connect with different people through an ethereal sense of connecting your mind with other people's minds who are alike, and somehow the frequencies that you put out are something that are necessary to be able to try to find different people who are akin with your frequency to be able to help grow your business in the most quantum functional way, which corresponds to all elements of nature being able to align with you, to be able to functionally connect with nature, to be able to get your business, to be able to optimize all of the animals in the forest, which corresponds to the analogy of what humans are, which is our animals in the forest in this global farm world, connectivity of an ecosystem, togetherness, and also known as the global commune, known as planet Earth. And so to be able to connect with that, it's necessary to tap into the roots of certain elements of resistance. You have to become resistant to be able to try to be able to explore and expand the mindset, to be able to expand to the greatest possible connection to the elements of humanity, to be able to get the sense of understanding and underlining how to know how to navigate yourself in the future of this global landscape, to be able to scale a business to a global atmosphere, to be able to connect with the vibrations of each element of each country, of each territory, of each aspect of the world, which in essence is all a little bit different, to be able to vibe with them, to be able to correspond with them, to be able to coincide with them. You have to expand yourself first. You have to expand the resilience of yourself. You have to correspond to your expansion as a person and your energy to be able to quantify a connection, a connectivity of alignment and harmony and harmoniousness to all aspects and all countries and all regions that are defined as the planet Earth, to be able to connect with a harmonious energy, to be able to serve and develop and preserve different cultures within these different cultures and different regions of different aspects of the world, to be able to align with your energy in an essential sense, so that in a also corresponding way, you're able to align with something that is known as, particularly by Layla Hormozi, she talked about something called a discomfort dividend, and that corresponds to being able to functionally make a deposit into your resilience account every single time that you choose the avenue of discomfort. And for this reason, it offers the ability to be able to stack different dividends by going in the direction of discomfort, to be able to expand yourself, to be able to shed yourself and be able to consistently shed and reshed yourself and be able to grow yourself and be able to push yourself in the fashion and the process of discomfort on a consistent basis, to be able to also alter your paradigms. Every single shed of a new self, of a new skin, in essence, is a new paradigm. And so you're growing and your essence of yourself is growing. And in essence, you have to become a business and the scale up to the size of the planet Earth to be able to be a global business, in essence, to be able to serve the most people, to be able to help the most people. You have to shed new skin consistently, continuously. And so therefore, whether it's mentally, whether it's conceptually, whether it's figuratively, whether it's through the metaverse, whether it's through virtual reality, whether it's some aspects of connectification from one side of the world to another, in essence, there's a necessity to be able to match frequencies and to be able to have that conceptual ability to be able to grow and be able to connect to different cultures and different places around the world. You have to put yourself in uncomfortable situations. You have to be able to meet uncomfortable situations and scenarios, to be able to meet people and find them halfway and be able to develop a process for shedding old skin to be able to make new skin, and that new skin has to have new elasticity, so that new elasticity has the ability to, like rubber, be able to expand to new depths and new strengths and new heights, to be able to expand to the size of the whole world, so that your skin hopefully can wrap around in a figurative sense, the sides, all sides and all square feet of where the world is covered, in essence. So your love, your heart, your ability to try to spread your asset energy is able to spread into the resilience of the counterintuitive ups and downs and lefts and rights and positives and negatives that the world has to offer, in essence, so that hopefully, in essence, your skin as a metaphor for your business, in essence, is able to be resistant and resilient, in essence, to the aspects of the globe that are all varied and variational from one climate, one culture, one region to the next, in essence, so that, in essence, you have the ability to have that elasticity to be able to grow. And so whether it's in a mental or a physical sense, it's necessary to be able to push yourself outside, push yourself into the rain, push yourself into snowy situations, push yourself into peculiar scenarios where you have to learn and find different avenues to be able to move in and out and within and through and around into different circumstances and avenues which are mostly occurred in nature, mostly found outside, mostly where places where many other people are, so that you have the combination of multiple other avenues of different frequencies being able to come together, so that in essence you're continuing to develop a resistance deposit coming from the discomfort dividend, more or less applying the discomfort dividend and continuing automatically, just by proxy, just by being close to those uncomfortable situations, just by putting yourself in situations that you're not able to get out of necessarily, and you have the ability to just sort of sit there and marinate in them because you chose to be there and you chose to just sit it out because you're already there anyways. And so because you're in these atmospheres, because you're in these situations that are circumstances that are uncomfortable by nature, but you know that they're controlled discomfort situations, because it's like a matter of being around society in different places that you typically would otherwise choose to stay indoors for, typically though, but then you've chosen to stay outside because in essence you acknowledge that it adds value to and has the ability to be able to continue to add dividends into your discomfort conceptual dividend process, where it continues to align with the ability to expand your skin by continue to deposit into your resilience account, which corresponds to the resilience of your skin in a metaphorical sense, which continues to add to the elasticity of your skin, corresponding to the ability to be able to have empathy for everybody in the world, so that in essence, as your skin becomes more elasticized and you're able to spread your skin around all of the layers and all of the corners and all of the elements of the Earth's atmosphere, that in essence, your heart, your asset energy, your ability to be able to spread that love, to be able to try to solve global problems, is also able to spread to all corners of the world. And that is, in essence, to answer the first question, in essence, in the beginning, how it is possible to be able to leverage the first ability to be able to try to spread your energy to the whole world and solve the whole world's problems by being able to develop that asset energy and be able to have ownership and delegate ownership, and delegating ownership and having different people own your problems also helps you to be able to scale your business, because you can delegate problems and delegate tasks, and ultimately you are the umbrella, you are the skin that covers the world in essence, but you have different people that run different businesses, and you have different allies and different partnerships and different essences where different people are able to take different ownerships of different tasks. And this also corresponds to nature, being able to acknowledge nature and how the way that everything in nature and all other businesses in nature grow, and which other businesses are corresponding and complementary to yours to be able to be services that grow in the same direction as you. If you consider yourself a plant and your plant is like your skin and it's continuing to grow like your business, that in essence you have other complementary plants, you have other complementary energies that are ultimately the people that you want to delegate and have take ownership of different tasks that have the ability to help grow your own business and have that ability to be able to continue to spread that ability outwards and with harmonious energies. But you have to be resilient enough to be able to go in and test the waters with different people, different cultures, different processes, to be able to know who to give and delegate different tasks and give task ownership to be able to continue to change the world and continue to scale and stretch your skin and continue to be able to scale a business and continue to scale your monetary energy and continue to scale your empathy and your compassion and your passion and your asset energy to all aspects and all corners and all layers of planet Earth. And just a quick side note before the end is that all animals are obviously inside the global ecosystem. So as you continue to care for the whole world and try to help, assist, and solve problems for the whole entire world, you're obviously trying to solve problems for the animals. The animals are part of the ecosystem of the global economy. So we are obviously necessitating being able to have task management and task ownership for people to be able to help to optimize all of the animal shelters in the world and all of the philanthropies in the world, to be able to continue to try to do collaborating content between animal shelters and philanthropies, philanthropy collaborations, animal content collaborations, philanthropy collaborations, animal content collaborations. We would love to try to inspire more collaborations happening between different philanthropies and different animal shelters, different philanthropies, and cross-hatching these types of content development, because our name, after all, is, as a business name, in essence, Dink Tech Change for Games Studios. Dink Tech Change for Games Studios. Dink Tech Change for Games Studios, whereby we're trying to develop the global philanthropy energy grid, which is the skin that more or less was being referenced within this podcast. That is kind of a symbol, ultimately, for the global philanthropy energy grid, the global philanthropy energy grid that is powered by philanthropy. So that is why we want to crosshatch and do more collaborative content with philanthropies collaborating with other philanthropies, and then ultimately philanthropies also collaborating with animal shelters collaborating with other animal shelters, making this type of video content to make that type of video content the most surreal and interesting and real and the new age type of content that takes over the whole world's attention, because that is the most valuable. That is what develops the global philanthropy energy grid, which causes the best result of human life possible, to lead by example with it, so to speak. Anyways, have a good day. Thanks again. Thanks, Dink Tech. Bye. Peace. Bye. Dink Tech Change for Game Studios. Dink Tech. Bye. Peace. Bye.